Donald Trump radicalizes people. A few days ago, President Biden tweeted, "Americans want a president, not a dictator." And a Trump supporter named Christian B. Wagner quote tweeted it and said, "I want a dictator." And it got 36,000 likes with over 7 million views. Trump supporters are taking full advantage of this and unleashing their authoritarian urges, admitting they want Donald Trump to be a dictator. Before we dig into that, I want to talk about former Fire Chief Comperatore. He was the man who tragically died at the last Trump rally because he was shot when the shooter was aiming for Donald Trump. It's an overall tragic story. He seemed like a decent man who died trying to protect his family, and it is tragic, but it is a prime example of the way that Donald Trump radicalizes otherwise good citizens. I have seen it myself. I've been to many MAGA rallies, and these people aren't inherently bad. They aren't inherently evil. You guys have seen me talk to sweet MAGA supporters who are just ladies in their mid-40s who have children and who need health care for their children. You guys have seen the videos. They're always incredibly sweet people. Well, most of the time they're incredibly sweet people, but this is what Donald Trump does to them. He makes them want a dictator. Comperatore replied to a tweet that says, "You can only save one. With AOC, Biden, Hillary Clinton, and Vladimir Putin." He said Putin 100%. And even if he's kind of joking, it gets even worse. This was a repeated pattern of saying heinous stuff online. This is what Donald Trump and the right-wing media system do to an average American citizen. This is the takeaway. Somebody said, "You see these activists doing this in your town. What do?" And it's activists standing on ice blocks with nooses around their neck. Somebody said, "Go bowling." Corey responded, "Go ice kicking." I mean, ice skating. He means kicking the block of ice so the people can hang. It's an edgy joke. It's pretty terrible. Babylon B says Trump vows that if elected, he will legalize running over bicyclists. Corey said, "Deal." Piers Morgan posted a video of Palestinian families taking their kids out of the rubble. Corey said, "They'll get over it. The Japanese did." There are plenty more examples, but Corey isn't the focus of the video. What happened to him was incredibly tragic, but what's also tragic is that he's just a random average American citizen, average Trump supporter, and he is fully bought into these conspiracy theories. Like, honestly, if someone in my life was sending tweets like that, I would think they were losing their mind. And Donald Trump has this effect on many, many people, not just Donald Trump, but the right-wing ecosystem as a whole. People like Tucker Carlson, who knowingly spread lies and then behind the scenes say, "I hope I don't have to spread these lies for much longer. I hate Trump. I loathe him." People like Charlie Kirk, people like Ben Shapiro, who run defense for Donald Trump constantly. And Republicans are now trying to gaslight us into saying that we need to cool off our rhetoric when, again, that is what Republicans do to the average Trump supporter, the average conservative. They've drifted that far over. All of these people on Twitter are now rallying behind Donald Trump, actually calling for a dictator, and they are genuinely taking the mask off and outright admitting it after years of hiding it behind critiques of our institutions, saying that all of our institutions are rigged, they need to be torn down, and Donald Trump can save us. That was how they used to hide it, but now they are going mask off, because America is in the midst of a major democratic backsliding. Donald Trump has the Supreme Court behind him. The Congress is right-wing and also runs defense for Donald Trump. It seems as if he's above the law because his own appointed judges keep delaying cases or dismissing cases. And if Donald Trump gets back into office, America will turn into an isolationist laughingstock on the world stage. But the fight is not over. We can still vote. We can still mobilize. There are many things we can do. I'm not trying to go doomer. I'm not trying to worry you guys. I'm just saying Donald Trump keeps getting away with it. And keep in mind, Donald Trump has shown signs of being an authoritarian since day one, and he's only been emboldened more and more to act on his authoritarian urges as he's rewarded by the American people and Congress. Before Donald Trump was even elected, he was saying that American citizens who burn a flag should lose their citizenship. That falls under our First Amendment right. It is a core part of our Constitution. Donald Trump wanted to go away with that. He's called for terminating the rules and laws in the Constitution. He spread lies about our institutions, about our court system, saying that he was being targeted. Over and over, he has shown these signs of being an authoritarian who wants to undermine our institutions at every step of the way and make sure that American citizens are disillusioned in the same way that Vladimir Putin makes sure that people in his country are disillusioned. And just a side note, Donald Trump and Republicans keep saying it was God and God alone who stopped that bullet from hitting Donald, but what about Corey? He was hit, he had to protect his family, it was incredibly tragic, but why wouldn't God protect that? But back to the main focus point of this video, I just feel like MAGA has such a tight pipeline for disinformation. I talk about this a lot, but some video will pop up on TikTok or through a tweet. Let's say, for example, kitty litter boxes in school bathrooms, and then after that goes viral on TikTok, the New York Post picks it up because they'll report on anything, and then after the New York Post picks it up, Fox News pulls it, and then Sinclair Broadcasting injects it into the feed of millions and millions of Americans, and then some rumor that started based off of a Twitter thread or TikTok is now being spoken about by Joe Rogan, by Tucker Carlson, by every single Fox News host there is. It's just an absolute mess, and it erodes the brains of normal Americans. They slowly start to believe more and more crazy conspiracy theories over time. At first, it starts with a little bit of suspicion about our institutions. Okay, maybe that video I saw about ballot boxes was weird, and then you start to have more and more of that pop up in your feed. Then you say, okay, this is weird. Maybe they are targeting Trump. Then you start to admit that all of the court cases are rigged, and then you're like, everything's targeting Trump, and then you go into the full conspiracy rabbit hole. And I'm not saying that our side is devoid of responsibility. We have our conspiracy theorists too. That was proven after the shooting. About like 10-20% of the people in my audience were saying staged, it's fake blood capsules. So conspiracy theories are harmful on both sides and only work to divide us. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the most extreme rhetoric being pushed by both sides is being pushed by Vladimir Putin, who wants Donald Trump to enact on his authoritarian urges, and vice versa. And I just want to say, I'm not both siding this. I'm not saying both sides have responsibility for pushing disinformation. The difference is sitting Republican Congress members and the former Republican president all push lies about election fraud. About half of sitting Congress members, maybe even 60-70%. Meanwhile, Democratic Congress members are totally grounded in reality. They don't spread disinformation. The most radical, I wouldn't even say radical, the most far left Democratic congressman is who? Bernie Sanders, who's still a classy gentleman who condemned the shooting. The most far right Congress members on the other side are Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz. There are many of these people who constantly spread lies, and that is a top-down effort from the right to lie to their fan base. Meanwhile, on the left, we play by the rules. We go high while they go low, and we don't mislead our fans. We don't mislead the voters in the Democratic Party. So I'm not saying both sides are the same. I clearly think Republicans do it way worse, but it's easy to fall into conspiracy theories no matter which side you're on. Either way, make sure you go join the Mockler subreddit and the Discord in the description below. Whether you use subreddit or you use Discord, go join. We're building a really tight community and it's great. Other than that, make sure you leave a like on this video, comment a blue heart. I love to hear from you guys. I love when you guys comment. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and have a great day.